Hey guys, Tapley from ASGV, back for part number 2 of tips and tricks. So the next thing I'll go through is the War Center, so the reoccurring events. So Desert Storm is, I would say, really important. I find it lots of fun. It's like playing an old school kind of RTS top-down game like Command and Conquer or something like that. It's where you don't lose anything at all. It's just basically a war against another arranged team. And you can either go for Team A or Team B. Usually, Team A is, for myself in the UK, midday on a Friday. I get half day Fridays at work, so it's perfect for me. Or you can do it in the evening on Friday. It's quite late, but it's worth it. Only half an hour. I'm going to create a video about this, of how it works, but it's good fun. You don't lose anything. Even if you lose, you get like extra loot from the game for participating. If you win, you get loads as well, like loads of experience, points, speed ups, everything. It's really worth the half an hour spent, and it's a nice change from just collecting resources and farming and stuff. So, can I explain how to sign up? It's very difficult. Generally, you select either A or B that you want to join, and then you select yourself, and then you basically select participants. You choose the time you want, if it's the morning or the evening, and then you click request to battle. So you can see here that I've already requested to battle, and you can put yourself in for a fighter or a substitute if there's too many, and that just essentially sets you in. If you're ever unsure, you can always message one of the R4 or R5s just to put you in the right A or B team as well. The other thing is Winter Storm. So there is a video about this on the channel already. This is something that happens during the Saturday Buster events. I think you need to play it maybe 3 or 4 times to get all the full rewards, but it's kind of a mini Desert Storm, smaller map, smaller people, but it's a similar type of thing. 2 different random teams. You're not with anyone on your team necessarily, and you fight, take bases, kill people, and you get rewards for the end. You don't lose any points, any troops. It's just a good way to get resources. And also, one tip or trick, if you can, is upgrade your drill ground if you get the chance before DS or Winter Storm, because the amount of troops you have in game is based on the size of your drill ground. Although you're not using those troops, you still use the amount that you could have in your drill grounds fully stocked. Other things to look at are the wanted boss. So there's 3 different wanted bosses depending on vehicle, air, and tank. And you get rewards for how high you rank. Most people aren't going to be in the top 50, but there's a good chance you'll be in the top 500 for sure. So it's worth doing this every day. You also get individual rewards for attacking it 3 times. Just do it 3 times a day. And there's also some goals. So if you can inflict a certain amount of damage, which you should increase every time, you get these different rewards, which is definitely worth doing. So it's making sure you have the strongest squad suitable. You can mess around, like Mason, for example, at the back is better against mobs, non-human enemies. He gives more damage, so you might want to swap him out in your tank team for one of your other, like Stepman or something, and just see if you get any more damage. Just have a little play around, see what gets you the most. You could even, if you've got a strong missile, you can include that in your tank squad just to hit him and see if you get more damage. And always scout beforehand, just a random person at the bottom of the map, or Genie, you can scout him as well. And that gives you the 1% more damage, which all adds up. The other thing to look at is rallying. So if by the end of the day, you should always use up your 2 stamina boosters for free. There's a 4-hour cooldown, so I try and use one and overload my stamina just before the drone arms race starts. And that means, because drone arms race lasts 4 hours, it should then be available again near the end of the drone race. So I'll use as much free stamina as I can for the drone arms race, which is essentially either pumping up your drone to get points or using stamina. I would advise always using stamina. And that's a great free way of doing it because you want to save these staminas for war, basically, attacking people on Saturdays and the golden zombies as well, which is important. But yeah, what I meant by that was any free stamina other than that, outside of drone races, always do Doom Elites. The more Doom Elites, the more prizes everyone gets and the gifts in the menu. And do some research. I go for 28s, maybe 29s, because I don't take any damage when I fight them, don't get any killed troops. Find out the highest level of Doom Elite you can fight without getting troops killed. And you can look at that in Alliance. Well, this is where the gifts are that you get for fighting the Doom Elites, as you can see here. And if you go to Mail and Regular, you can see here I fought Doom Elite earlier. Go to Details and Statistics, and one of my guys died. So maybe I wasn't at full power, but one is fine. But you don't want like 50, 60 dying just to kill a Doom Elite. It's not worth it. The increase in rewards for the level isn't worth it. The next item to look at is probably just where we were. So battle reports are great for understanding your squad. So this was me killing earlier to get some points. You can see here your team, who you play against, how many people died, what the damage was, and who you were versed against. If you beat them or not, what your gear is like. Just a good comparison to anyone that you fight against, so you can work out roughly how you lost a battle. This isn't really helpful now, but if you do other battles, it would be. Alliance is just anything that we send through the R mails, any group activities as well. So that was from the MG earlier today. Events, just event rewards. This is the gold brick we did in the first video. System are just things sent by the company. Regular are any regular mobs that you kill. In-app purchases are what they are, and favorites, any mail that you favorite yourself via a little tick at the top. Inventory, so always open. I spoke to somebody before that never opened any boxes, and it was like Christmas when I looked at their inventory. So always open the mystery chests. Anything that's not linked to a versus war or anything like that. So I always keep all of my chests, drone chests here for the correct day, which I think is Wednesday. You don't need to use any stamina. Always keep a few random teleporters, and I always keep a couple of different hour shields depending on what I'm doing that day. Got some bullets from the bullseye event, some of the glittering coins, some other bits and pieces that just stay down the bottom. You can't really use them, but yeah, for the most part, open every single other chest you get, apart from chip chests and these chests. I personally always open my diamonds because they can't be looted, but never open these. Open them as a last resort because, as you can see, depending on what level you are, current base level, you obtain a certain amount of coins. So you want to open these when you are desperate, when you're at your highest level, which is later in the game. So I have probably never opened any, 69,000 of these. So I've never opened any, I haven't needed to. These ones, again, they level up with whatever your base level is, but you can open them as you get higher up. There's so many need for additional resources that you go for it. These aren't flexible, they're food. These ones can be flexible, they can be whatever you want them to be. But anything like this, where it just shows bread or steel on its own, they don't level up with your level. So you can open all of these, but just beware, if you get attacked, all the resources up here are fair game to be stolen from you. So I always keep all my resources in my inventory. If I need them, I open them then and there. That's about it. Speed ups. The cool thing you can do is click statistics. So it shows you the various resources available. how much you have in inventory and how much you have at the top. Speed ups, I always keep my speed ups, as I say, I squirrel them away, and I don't know, what's that, 50, 60, maybe almost 70 days of speed ups there. I'm going to use those pretty much universal, use them for your research mainly, and save a little bit if you need to for your building. Construction speed ups, obviously stay for construction on the versus day, don't really use them any other day. Same with the research speed ups, save them for the versus. Training, I generally save them for Fridays and Saturdays, where we need to build up our strength for the leaderboard and to train more troops. Healing, I only ever use those on a Saturday buster when my hospital's full, I'm in the middle of the war. And other, it shows you all the experience. Again, I don't buy anything in game to get this. I just save it up for the correct days, and I try to use it as efficiently as possible. Diamonds are diamonds, and stamina is stamina. Heroes, again, don't open your XP chests. Save them as long as you can, because they scale at your base level. And I've got a few of these choice chests, so if you ever get any and you don't have one of the heroes, just use 10 to unlock them. Obviously, Kim is very important, Murphy and Marshall as well. Make sure you get them from these. I think these are generally gained from the hidden map pieces. Otherwise, gear, there's nothing really you open here. And gifts are gifts, really. The next thing to look at, let me just check. Let's have a look at the store next. So, like I mentioned earlier, the tavern, once a day, just recruit once, save all your tickets for the versus day. In the store, you basically never want to use the diamond store unless you're desperate for teleporters or anything else, but it's not a good use of your money. VIP, I always get the stamina because I'm always running out from Saturdays or golden zombies. Drone parts, if you've got enough money, you probably want to get. Advanced teleporters occasionally. I always get all the speed ups. Sometimes the chip chests, but it's quite expensive. The gold hero chest is much better than the purple one, but again, I don't really buy them, but they're there if you need it. More speed ups, and some people do buy the gold shards, depending how much diamonds you have and what your immediate need is, but they're the main things to focus on. In Alliance, your Alliance points go up. You can gain a lot of these various ones through the week. I just wait every day and see what's needed that day. So if tomorrow I was looking at drone components, if we were pushing, I'd just buy all of them. Buy generally the hero shards as well. Drone parts are a must. Get the chip chests as well, and sometimes the XP. I've got enough shields, as you saw earlier, but I like to keep 2 of each, but it's up to you. Always get the 8-hour speed ups. Sometimes the 1 hour if you have enough. Again, I'll wait to the end of the week to see how much I've got left, or if I'm doing research push day tomorrow, I'll buy all of them now. And honor, everyone always says this, and I'm starting to realize why, but only spend honor points on the gear blueprints here, because when you come to upgrade your gear, you'll need a lot of these, and by the time you realize you need a lot, it'll be too late. So just buy this always. You'll thank me later. Campaign, always buy the top row, and I've bought the chip material. Sometimes I get a little bit of the battle data, but that's about it. And for the most part, I don't buy anything else here because I never have too many campaign points. Coupon store, I think, just for people that pay money. I don't have that. That does lead nicely on to the campaign themselves. So I generally put my full squad, my full tank squad, which is my strongest, in tank and get up lots of levels. When you start to reach a plateau where you can't go any further, well, what you want to do as well is obviously have your missile squad here going up levels. and your aircraft squad going up levels as well. But you'll find that your tank squad, you'll reach a level where you can't go any further, and your aircraft and missile will do the same but a much lower level because they won't be as strong. So I look to supplement when I can't do any more tank stuff. I'll add like one of my strong tanks into my missile squad, and then I'll see my levels go up immediately because my tanks are so strong. And then you get more campaign points and you won't kind of be stuck down here. So don't push too far, because ideally you want to get to just the end of the level where you get points. But when the reset hits, it means you can do it again and get the points again. So if you run out of campaigns, you run out of points. But if you can keep playing the lower ones to get more points at a certain level, then it won't. You get more points every few days. So it's a balance. See what works for you. The other thing to look at is in the chat. You'll have world chat, usually full of spam. Your language, usually full of spam. Duel, definitely full of spam. In the alliance chat, I would suggest everyone engages here. It's what makes the game out of everything. It's just chatting to people. I've got the special R4 and R5 chat. You can't. That's a secret. You can't look there. But the one main thing, if you do every day, if you do nothing else, please read the announcements. So these are something we do a couple of times a day. If there's only one of these you read, make sure that it's the morning announcement, because Lady does a great job here of saying it's a save day, or if it's a push day, where the secret star tasks are. So the extra special tasks that give you more things are different servers, different days. So she puts a link here kindly, and just look for the gold shining tasks to steal from. And again, she says personal rewards only. So on a non-push day, get to whatever points you want to get whatever you want, but don't go over 7.2 million. It's a waste. On push days, we go as hard as you can. Try to get at least 7.2 million. And again, today's focus is all these different things. She also puts what arms race to focus on, which match up with the videos, the daily videos on here as well. And there's a little picture also which explains those things as well. Otherwise, there's sometimes important announcements from Hell, Carlos, and there's Desert Storm registration reminders we talked about, and also trains. So it's important to, again, put your tickets in, get some loot from the train. What else? Frontline. So if you hate, this is the only reason I like the game, to be honest. But if you don't like this, it's still worth doing. You can share levels that are hard with other people in the alliance, but you get, every time you complete one of these levels, you get extra troops at the end of it. And if you've got an empty drill ground like me, clicking on those troops after a successful level completion adds to your strength and adds less resources for you training them. So it's really worth doing or sharing with the team, and they can complete them for you, and you'll still get the extra troops as a reward. Have a quick look at drones. So yeah, either data training or part training. Save this always for the push day, which I think is Monday. Yeah. And then components, I think part of Wednesday when you open the drone crates. And just making sure you do a quick upgrade and seeing if you get up a level or not from all those open boxes. Combat boosts. Again, make sure you add everything you can here that is anything, essentially. I'm trying to get all gold skill chips. I've got 2 at the moment. I've got a couple of purple placeholders, but whatever you do, don't upgrade your purples. Just add them in here and use them as experience to upgrade your drone. You can keep a couple of placeholders like me, but look to replace them. Start in the middle, work top, left, right, and get them all gold, and then you can upgrade the golds as well when you have the same type of chip. But for the most part, you want to use everything in here to upgrade your drone experience to make it even stronger. Strong drones win games. Otherwise, versus, yeah, make sure that you understand if it's a push or a save. Obviously, we're on a save day because No one's really pushing past 7.2 million. Good to see everyone's restraint there. We make sure that we push on a Monday and a Tuesday and a Saturday, and the next week we push on a Wednesday and a Thursday and a Saturday. That means you get 2 weeks of saving for your push, and that rotates every week. So we found that to be the most effective way. It's just having the discipline to keep those things untouched and the buttons unclicked. It can be very difficult sometimes. Otherwise, yeah, you see what happens every day, and again, look at the videos, the daily videos, to understand how to use these. And based on your score, you get the various rewards. So I try and at least get to 3.6 million. If you can make it to 7.2, you can see you get more chip material. Personally, I don't think it's worth pushing yourself to get that if you're not gonna just. There's no minimum score on a save day, essentially. But go for 3.6, I would advise. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing I'll show you is if you go to the world, like I mentioned, have a look down here for someone high level to scout. There isn't part of an alliance to get your RSS. You also, and I advise playing this on a PC, as you can see here, it's much easier to, you can see so much extra stuff. It's a small download on the Last War website, and it's so much easier to play the game using a mouse, clicking stuff quickly, moving, returning. I can't speak highly enough of it. But yeah, when you're in the world view, you want to click on the capital and go to title assignment. As we've explained on some of the daily videos, each of these have a buff for various things. Today is building. As you can see there, I'm due to have it server time 10:43, which is 10:11 to that's 1:43 in the morning. I probably won't be awake for that. So every day gets extremely busy to get your buff. So ideally, you want to request your buff as early as possible in the day for whatever that versus day is. Science is research. Interior just boosts food. This is a good one to do if you're every now and then in the day. Just request it if all your heroes are out gathering. Secretary of Defense is if mainly used for Friday to increase your training speed quickly. Secretary of Strategy is more of a fighting buff to make sure you get a bigger capacity hospital and heal quicker. And Vice President's just kind of a jack of all trade. I think this is generally restricted to R4s and R5s because it's got certain special powers to move people from queues, which people take advantage of. But yeah, I think my final tip would be make sure you have at least your 2 weak squads out gathering constantly. So it may not seem a lot when they come back, but it's always worth doing. It all adds up. I always start with looking for level 10 mines, and if they're full, that's perfect. I'll then go and get one of my squads to go and do that. Is there another one? There is. So again, I'll make my other squad go to that. It says at the bottom there, it's going to take this person 10 hours to fully deplete that mine. They're going to get 300k gold, and they're going to finish at 9:27 in the morning. So that's fine. They'll be off doing that. I don't normally send my primary person, the first squad, to gather unless it's just before bed. In which case, yeah, if it says no supplies nearby, I'll click down a level. That's pretty empty. Looks like somebody's already going for that anyway. It's the important. If I click here, I think it will tell me. No, maybe not. Maybe that's my squad from earlier leaving that mine. But yeah, you ideally want to choose mines that are full because this one says it's only going to take an hour, and by that time he'll return while I'm asleep. So you can always search for lower level mines as well. Or go for iron. Iron and gold are generally the ones you have less of. And this one says 2 hours. So if I had to, I'd go for this one because it's more mining time, more resources. But yeah, I'm sure there is plenty of stuff I've forgotten, but this is a good quick general tips and tricks for anyone that may have gaps in their knowledge. I welcome people to send me on some things I've missed so I can make a part 3, but that was pretty much everything for now. Thanks, guys. Bye.